good evening, and welcome to my book nook. So, this is the first video I'm filming on this channel this year. I've been so happy to be able to make a book channel that you guys have come over to so quickly, and it's really heartwarming kind of reading all of your comments. It's just great that I can share a hobby of mine in ASMR form, and that people can find something relaxing about me just reviewing some of the books I like and new book subscription packages and all sorts of book related content. So today I thought I would do a kind of soft spoken video. The previous ones I've done were all whispering, but my main goal with this side channel is to try out new things, new ways of talking on camera, so I really hope that you guys enjoy. So before we delve into all my special editions of books that I've got, first I thought, not just for your sakes, but also for my own, this is going to be a relaxing space, and I thought it best that I make it kind of almost cleanse the space before we talk. So here I've got this wonderful lavender scented mist that I'm just going to spray around and hopefully just bring a bit of peace and tranquility to this little book nook. So I'm just going to do a few sprays around the area. Yeah, it just smells divine. I've often thought that sometimes with lavender you can get quite sleepy, but this blend, it has quite a citrus scent mixed into the lavender, so while it's got that relaxing quality, it's also quite invigorating. So just use that before we start. Also got a little candle that I'm going to light just to set the mood in here. Place it far away from my books. Yes. So I don't know if you can see behind me here, we've got all my books. There's not really too much order to them just yet. I have some manga over here, some YA up there, my One Piece collection, and then this side is more of my childhood books. So I've got a bit of Percy Jackson mixed with some Danmei and more Japanese and non-fiction. But I would love to do a bookshelf tour as well sometime. But right, let's get to it. Now, I haven't read all of these books. I'm going to start with the ones that I have, so I can maybe give a little short recommendation as well. And then at the end of the video I'm going to introduce some of the ones that I've yet to read, but that I'm really excited about reading. So the first book that I have to show today is this beautiful edition of Caraval by Stephen Carver. Just looking at the front cover, there's already so much to take in. So here we've got a little keyhole. It's kind of indented into the book cover, which is just a wonderful thing to add. We've got a little illustration in silver, kind of carnival-esque, which is a theme in the book itself. So the book actually pulls out from here, and this is the cover that it sits inside. So Caraval, if you haven't read it, is very fantastical and whimsical. I recommend it for anyone who wants to feel a bit of that childhood feeling again of reading a fun fantasy, but while still being an adult. There's a bit of everything. There's a slight romance, there are some mystery kind of plot twists. There's magic. There's a bit of everything you'd want in a good, kind of not heavy read. I really enjoyed it, but I must say I have an obsession with the kind of side series of this book called Once Upon a Broken Heart. It's a vaguely related spin-off by the same author, and that clouds my judgment slightly as I prefer that one, but this original was also lovely. I remember really enjoying it. I remember really soaking it up. I think when you want to read a book that won't disappoint you, you won't get a third into it and won't struggle to finish it. This doesn't have any of that. I think it was very quick, and there were twists and turns throughout that kept me going. So, unwrap it. So, we've got the wonderful ticket to the carnival. So this point in the story is our protagonist has a ticket to play part in this magical game run by, gosh, it's been a while, the circus master called Legend. And I believe it was quite unclear whether he was immortal, but a very magical man. And she gets a ticket to play and runs away from her family with her sister and her boyfriend, her sister's boyfriend. And they join this wonderful magical circus. So the back as well is just beautiful. So it says the main gates close at midnight. Anyone who arrives later than this will not be able to participate or win this year's prize of one wish. So you can really grasp the kind of whimsical, wonderful nature from just this cover alone. The cover myself. There's something really magical about having a book with a beautiful cover. It makes the reading experience that much more magical, and it really makes me appreciate the book even more. It feels like such a prized possession that it holds the memories of when you read it. It just makes everything so much more pleasurable. It's also one of my favourite things is when I'm recommending books to people, like friends or colleagues. I like to give them my special editions so that they can also join in that fun reading experience for the first time, not knowing anything about the contents of the book, but it just makes it even more magical for them too. So that is my first special edition. So next we have one of my favourite books, which I'm not afraid to admit because I will say it's got quite a reputation. My friends have called it trashy, and I do agree to an extent. But this is Sarah J. Maas, A Court of Thorns and Roses, otherwise known as ACOTAR. If you don't know anything about it, it's a book about the Fae, otherwise known as fairies. And in this book, the Fae are just kind of super attractive humans with kind of magical abilities. And our main character, Feyre, is a human who lives in the human part of the realm known as Prithian. And there's a wall that divides the island into the other side of the wall is where the Fae live. And so it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling with our human protagonist kind of being taken to fairy by a fae named Tamlin, and it's about kind of their relationship and how that progresses. And I really recommend it if you're up for a fun, flirty read that doesn't take too much mind power but is so much fun anyway. And there's something really Moorish about this series. I almost can relate it to like drama TV series where you binge watch them. It feels very bingey, and you know it's not perfect, but you just want to keep watching. That's how this series feels to me. So I really enjoy it. But let's get on with the special edition. I'll just show you the back really quickly. So we've got a little rose picture. So on the front we've got a picture of the woods, and here is our main character, Feyre, with her bow and arrow, hunting in the woods. So that's where the story begins. It's so beautiful, it's like gold added to the picture. I really like the little specks of gold here as well to represent the snow. It's just so pretty. And then the wolf that she originally is hunting in the forest and comes across. So I feel like this edition has this wonderful fairy tale-esque kind of feeling about it. The same as Caraval, there's not spade edges on this one, but I will have lots of spade edges to come. And again, it opens up much like the original, but you've just got this beautiful illustration at the front to match the cover. So from here on, these are all going to be books that I haven't read, or for the next one I'm currently in the process of reading it, and the next ones are all books that I received from a Fairy Loot subscription. I signed up randomly last year. I put myself on the waiting list because they just have really, really pretty books. I've actually just cancelled my subscription because I was getting the package that came with gifts, and I'm now on the waiting list for just the books only because I was starting to realise I need to declutter, and I was getting a lot of items every month that I probably shouldn't be. So hopefully I'll have more books to show you in the future when my time on the waiting list is done. We'll see. So the first book from Fairy Loot is this beautiful edition of Spice Road. I think it's a relatively new release. I believe when you get the Fairy Loot boxes, it's always the new releases. But yes, sorry, this is a disclaimer. This is completely unsponsored. I wish it was. But my favourite thing about this edition is the spade edges. It was the first time I'd seen this on a book. I didn't know it was a thing, and I'm now obsessed. Just the fact that it's got the little markings on it. It's just so beautiful, and again it adds that extra like realm of beauty to the reading. So Spice Road, and for reference I'm on chapter 3, but Spice Road so far is what I've gathered is the way the main character uses magic is tea, which and maybe some sort of spice. I'm not entirely sure yet, but the whole world that's been created in just 2 chapters is magnificent. I'm having a really good time, which I wonder if that's why I'm reading it so slowly, because I have a problem when I have a book that I am instantly drawn into. I try to read it really slowly because I know I'm enjoying it and I want to save it. So that's a bit about the story. Can't say much so far. The best thing about this, which I didn't realise until later, is if you take the cover off, underneath you've got this beautiful, beautiful cover. Oh, it's just so beautiful with the edges as well, and it just reminds me of the classics when they're sold in bookstores, these kind of beautiful formats, and it's so nice that modern day fantasies can get this treatment as well, and we can really, really show off our favourite stories. This just took me by surprise. I didn't think it could be this beautiful. And if we open it up, we've actually got some character art here, which I really love because I'm someone that can struggle to visualise characters. My favourite as well. This is a really tiny picture of a teapot there with the author's signature. But everything about this edition I love. Yeah. So I've got 2 more books left to show you today. What I'm already realising, another reason I lit a candle and cleansed the space at the start was I was finding that whenever I made these book videos, I would get too excited and kind of ruin the ASMR aspect ever so slightly. So I think I'm just going to take a few moments to calm down and kind of breathe in the lavender scent. It's very easy for me to get excited about the books I'm talking about, and I just need to remember that this is a place of quiet and calm. So, to the next book. I've just realised there's actually 3 books left, so we're exactly halfway. But now the remaining 3 are all books I've never read, but I'm planning to, of course. So the next is this special edition of City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaeffer. You have to tell me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. So again, I love the colour scheme of this book. It's just really pretty. Again, the sweet edges. There's just something so beautiful about them that it makes me feel like a child again, getting so obsessed over how pretty it is. So this book I'm super excited for. Let me just read the synopsis because I cannot tell you anything myself. So, ever since her sister became a man-eating spider, sorry, this is also the first time I'm reading it, and slaughtered her way through town, 19-year-old Ness has been terrified. Terrified of some other nightmare murdering her, and terrified of ending up like her sister. Because in Newham, the city that never sleeps, dreaming means waking up as your worst fear. Whether that means becoming a nightmare that's monstrous only in appearance, or transforming into a twisted, unrecognizable creature that terrorizes the city, no one is safe. Ness will do anything to avoid becoming another victim, even if that means lying low among the friends of the Restful Soul, a questionable organisation that may or may not be a cult. But being a member of this maybe cult has a price. In order to prove herself, Ness cons her way to what's supposed to be a simple job for the organisation, only for it to blow up in her face, literally. Tangled up in the aftermath of an explosive assassination, now Ness and the only other survivor, a nightmare boy who Ness suspects is planning to eat her, must find their way back to Newham and uncover the sinister truth behind the attack, even as the horrors of her past loom ominously near. So for this edition as well, there's also the surprise when you take off the cover. So when we take off the cover, we've got this lovely kind of muted palette this time of the skyline of the city of Newham, I expect. It seems like a really fun world that I can't wait to jump into. Much like the other book, we've got some character art as well on the inside. Yeah, I can't wait to read that either. So, the next book I've got here is called The Seven Faceless Saints. This is another book that came with my very loose subscription. It seems kind of Italian inspired. I think I read that the city of Florence inspired it, which sounds wonderful to read. I haven't read anything too similar to that before. I guess potentially, can't remember the name, but there was the book with Envy and Amelia. I'll have to write the name on the screen because I can't remember it. It's a wonderful setting, and here again, got the little image on the pages, which is just beautiful. I'm going to take the cover off again. And now this is just ridiculously pretty. I love it so much. I like how it seems a bit spooky, the white with the red. I almost want to keep them sleeveless. They're that pretty to have out as they are. I don't know if that's intended, but I think they'll look even more beautiful on the bookshelf once they have the sleeves off. But yes, here is Seven Faceless Saints, which again I haven't read yet, but hopefully once I have I can do a review. Again, there's some more character art, which I love because it really helps me get into the story more. And now we have our final book. Lastly, it's Silver in the Bone. So I believe this is inspired by King Arthur and the legends of King Arthur. I guess the sword on the cover helps with that. And I didn't realise originally, but she's also the author of Law, if you've seen that around. Ironically, we have a comment from Stephanie Garber, who wrote the first book I showed you today. An exquisite fantasy crackling with dark magic. So that makes me very excited to read it. So my favourite part, this we will be seeing at the same time. I've never, this one came a few weeks ago I believe, so I'm gonna unwrap it and see what it looks like. That is not what I expected. So this time we've got some character art on the front cover. That is not what I expected tool, and it seems that the image goes all the way around. And then we've got the pages. There's an image of a sword. Wow. I like it. I haven't had one before that's had the character art on the front cover, and I'm liking it. Yeah, this is just making me more excited to read. And what makes me so happy is when I review these books, I can show you all with the fancy special versions. I feel like it will make me look like I have loads of special books, but that's not the case. So I'll just open up again for art in the front cover. Gosh, I'm very excited to read this one. So that is all for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed seeing all these special editions of the books that I own. If you want to see more of this in the future, do let me know. There's something I find so relaxing about watching people unwrap these kind of special editions, and it's almost like I can live vicariously via them because I don't have to buy it when I'm watching these, so anytime I can share a collection with people and share the books I have is great. And yeah, I've had a really good time just relaxing with you all and showing you around my bookshelf with the special editions I have, and hopefully I will see you all soon. But I'm going to end today's session there, and thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely night or a lovely afternoon from wherever you're watching this video. Sending you all my love